Hello everyone, and welcome to my Duel Today official news channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. This was certainly unexpected. Alex being his son was not one of the resurrections, hidden offspring, or family twists that would have led Days of Our Lives Victor to sabotage his will. But perhaps we ought to have. After all, it seemed strange to send him to Greece with Brady to investigate the situation. Alex is many things, but he is not a detective or an investigator. Additionally, despite being startling, the revelation makes sense given Victor's relationship with Angelica and his desire to claim Alex as his son even before he was born. However, the most recent issue of Soap Opera Digest claims that the truth revealed in Victor's letters is that Alex is, in fact, Victor's son. The patriarch of the Kyriakis family apparently learned that he was still wed to Vivian and made a new will in which he bequeathed half of his assets to an unidentified son. A woman advised Victor in one of his letters not to claim the son because another Kyriakis was caring for him. Both Justin and Alex are in shock as a result of the revelation, and Alex struggles to digest it all while Justin adamantly maintains that he will always be his father. According to Robert Scott Wilson, it will undoubtedly alter the dynamics within the family and the power within the company. He struggles to comprehend why Victor didn't just tell him the truth, which irritates him. He is evaluating everything. It's a frightening place to be. And perhaps he ought to be doubting everything. After all, it's a little too handy, especially considering that Theresa got the letters first. Because there hasn't been a lot of fan demand for Alex to become Justin and Victor's cousin. However, they have been hoping it will occur with Xander. Consider this. Theresa despises Xander, while most others, apart from Sarah, have pretty well made peace with his past. She seems to have been seething with hatred for him. Back when she first arrived in town, their argument brought out the worst in each of them. She wouldn't want him to ever know who his real father was or receive a penny of Victor's wealth. People might be suspicious if she simply threw the letter away if they knew she had the briefcase before. But if she altered its content before giving it to them, she might be able to make the whole situation work in her favor. On the other side, she would benefit so much more from Alex. Why not financial success with Alex if she can't have love with Brady? Make him the heir and focus on his cousin instead than Brady. Because of this, it wouldn't require much doctoring to persuade people that Alex, rather than Xander, is the secret son for whom Victor revised his will. After all, the names are close enough, they are identical. He was also being raised by Titus, a different Kyriakis. If we take a look at Days of Our Lives past, Alex does make some sense. But when we consider her past, Theresa's decision to change course in order to harm someone she despises and advance herself makes even more sense. In the end, solving the enigma around Victor's will was simply too simple. There is a strong likelihood that this story has just begun. Oh, the complicated web we spin. Days of Our Lives is undergoing significant changes, and as several plotlines came to a climax this week, I have a feeling they're all preparing us for a number of Salem exits, some of which we were aware of and others of which we weren't. Additionally, there may be more than 5 departures, but the remaining people are people we know who were only passing through for brief stays. And the November sweeps haven't even begun yet. This past week demonstrated why Jada ought to serve as police commissioner. She quickly pieced together the hints that Talia and Sean shared a bed. Once she realized Sean was lying, it wasn't really that difficult. The police department could use some good detectives, though, and Sean certainly doesn't meet the criteria at the moment. I just truly hope that this affair comes to light, rather than Talia getting pregnant as the final straw that ultimately drives both Belle and Talia away. Since Agatha Civilian is no longer filming, there isn't enough time for her to become pregnant, which means she will probably either miscarry or abort the child. And it would be terrible to do that to both Hunter sisters. I don't think Sean will tell Belle what occurred at this time. He lied to her face when he got the chance. Whatever happens, It's going to be nasty because Talia and Belle are both leaving the show. The ability to ignore. I can understand EJ's assumption that Ava is simply fabricating Susan's existence in order to save her own skin. But if I were him, a Demira who had lived in Salem for as long as he has, not to mention returned from the dead like he has, I would stop killing as soon as I heard the news, at least until I investigated Ava's claims. However, I'm not EJ. He is obstinate and domineering, so continue, I suppose, and pray you don't kill Ava before she locates your mother. In another scene, Trip and Wendy are being punished for aiding Ava. They might become a little more fascinating as a result. I know I'm happy to see Wendy regaining some of her flair through her snooping and confrontation with EJ. Despite her brilliance, she used a home printer to magically fabricate holographic passports. She was never going to stand a chance. She was caught, lured, and dismissed by EJ. Perhaps it's time to go with Titan. Lai is no longer affiliated with Demira. In that case, where is Lai? Why not team up with the other significant Salem corporation since Wendy is no longer with Johnny, and he and Melinda have disappeared? After all, Vivian could use some assistance with her grand scheme. I apologize for using the word master plan without a smile. The Vivian years of Breaking Bad. Stephanie, and I concur. How on earth is Vivian thinking this? It makes no sense to explain what you're doing if you're going to be dealing in illicit narcotics. When she contacted John, did she truly believe he would agree to it? Or Philip, who was her one and only option? Or Alex, who was her one other option? Yes, that made me smile. I don't understand her strategy. Overall, I'm not very impressed by her reappearance. She could be doing so much more, hanging out with so many more people, but instead she merely moved into the mansion, whose effects we have hardly seen, and took over Titan. To run drugs? Plus, it appears that Vivian is already leaving and has done very little now that Maggie and Justin have the will. Speaking of the will, everyone is aware that the huge revelation that Alex is Victor's son is set to air on the show. He is not my favorite, as we all know. But I also believe there's a good probability that Alex isn't the heir and that the whole thing is a fraud. It is covered in more detail here. Theresa is good, assuming my theory about her is accurate. She is fiddling about with Alex. It was fantastic when Sander realized what Chloe meant to him after his dream. I also observed it during the birth and mentioned it. She wasn't there out of jealousy, rather she was helping. Sigh. So, you were nice while you had it. Goodbye. Chloe can't possibly go through with the wedding at this point, right? Furthermore, I don't think she's hiding this from Sander just to keep him to herself. Therefore, it is likely, ideally, that Rex and Sarah's wedding will also not take place. I adore Maggie even more for calling the fake wedding for what it is. Rex thought trying to win Sarah's affection. Simply let it go. But does this suggest that Philip and Chloe are getting back together after Vivian's significant push with Philip? He doesn't stay around too much, so if they do get back together, I'm a little concerned Chloe would follow him out of town. Thanks for watching if you like this video. So please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any updates.